Hey, good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. We are having a good discussion here this morning. I am looking forward to seeing everybody. So thank you for coming in, saying hi, visiting, and hanging out with me. I really do appreciate this. Hey, good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. Back to that other screen. We are having I hate it when it does this here this morning, especially when you're planning on doing something and it doesn't work like you want it to. Thank you for coming in, saying hi, visiting, and hanging out with me. So I really do appreciate this. Hey, good morning. Let's adjust this again. Back to that other screen. We are having I hate it when it does this here this morning, especially when you're get back to where it's supposed to be. It doesn't work like you want it to. I gotta love technical issues in the morning. So it goes live. All right, let's turn that off. Let's adjust this. Turn that off. Let's get this over here. And okay. Good morning, everybody. Apologize for that. Get back to where it's supposed to be. Hope everybody's doing well. My chat window has disappeared, so give me just a moment to get this back up and running. Turn that off. Farm Dog, thanks for coming in. Brazinger, thanks for being here. Chef Kicker, Coin Crew, Brown Sugar, thank you all for coming in. I appreciate you being here this morning. Today, as you can see in the title, we're going to talk about 2023 Coin of the Year. Now, there's more than one coin in the Coin of the Year. We're going to kind of go over those very, very briefly. I don't know if you saw the short this morning. The short this morning is going to be talking about the specific coin we're going to be talking about today. It is the coin champion for the 2023. We'll get to that in just a few moments, though. But I think there's going to be there's going to be some really good information. I think you'll find this interesting. Now, the coin of the year, to understand the importance of it, we are going to be talking a little bit about the historical premise. But before we begin and kind of get into that, I want to be very clear about something. Number one, I want to make sure everybody doesn't understand that I'm not aligning myself politically when we talk about this coin. As soon as I bring it up, you're going to know exactly what I mean. My discussing this doesn't align me politically or affiliate with me in who I believe is right or who I believe is wrong. I'm just going to be talking from a historical standpoint, so let's make sure that's very clear. I don't want to bring politics involved. I don't want to put myself on a specific side or politically or affiliate with support one side or the other, because conflict is conflict. It's going to remain. It's going to be everywhere. And so I want to make sure that people understand that I am not aligning myself one way or the other. All right, so who we got in here? We got John Shank has come in here. John Shank, thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it. Jeff Davis, Bill Gibson, thank you guys for coming in. We've got, can't see who that is. Unfortunately, my that's Coin Crew. All right, so I have Echo. John Shank has come in here. John Shank, well, let me figure that out. Really do appreciate it. Jeff Davis, Bill Gibson, thank you guys for coming in. We've got. Did the echo go away? Is that better? Has the echo disappeared? Has it gone away? Oh, okay, so I had something in the background on. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate that. I think I had my background audio and it was feeding back through. I have my microphone turned off, so I need to make sure that I go over and disable that. Appreciate that. Let's see, let's make sure that this is actually turned off. It is turned off now, so now I don't have to worry about that anymore. So thank you very much. All right, let's go back through and say hi to everybody. Who have I missed? So we have Jeff Davis, Shift Kicker, Perplexed Mind, thank you for coming in. Appreciate you being here. Donna S., thank you for coming in. I appreciate you stopping in. Always a good, solid supporter. I appreciate this. Silver Paws, how are you doing? I appreciate you coming in, brother. Thanks for that. This Logic is in the house, so thank you very much for coming in. Let's see, we have Bill Gibson. I think I already said hi to Bill, but I'll say hi to you again. Let's see, have I missed anyone? I don't think I have. I think I have gotten everybody. If I've missed you, I apologize. It is not on purpose, but thank you for coming in and for spending some time with me today. So again, one thing I always do, thank my moderators. I appreciate you being here. Anybody who's done any kind of live stream knows that it's very difficult to do this, to maintain discussion on a topic or be looking at working or doing something. I don't do auctions and I don't do things like that. So I don't have to worry about that aspect of it, but I am looking at scripts. I am trying to change screens and do things like that. So I appreciate the mods for coming in. You missed that one guy from that one place. Oh, that one dude. Yeah, but that one guy is Coin Crew, and I already said hi to Coin Crew, so I didn't miss that one guy. Anyway, all right, so we're going to be talking, like I said, we're going to be talking about the 2023 Coin of the Year. Now, the Coin of the Year, it's kind of a misnomer because there's actually more than one. There's a number of different categories. I believe there's 7 total categories in the Coin of the Year. And there are a couple things that are interesting, and in that most of the 2023 coins of the year are either a year or 2 old. They're not necessarily this year's coins. So they review a whole bunch of them. So you have a couple different categories. You have the most artistic, you have the most innovative, you have the best crown, you have the most inspirational, you have the Coin of the Year champion, you have the best silver, the best gold, the best contemporary event, and then the best vitalic. Now, I talked about one of these coins a couple weeks ago, and that was the most innovative. And that was when I talked about the black hole, the Milky Way, and then the neutron star. The neutron star was the one that had hit the most innovative. It's actually quite a cool coin. So if you want to know more about this, then I'm going to be doing a series of shorts on this, so you'll be seeing more of these. This morning, you should have seen the short. If you haven't, you'll see it soon. You should have seen the short that talks about what this year's coin is. And the Coin of the Year was also the most artistic coin, and that was the 30th anniversary of Ukraine. Now, or the 30th anniversary of the independence of Ukraine. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do what I did at the beginning of the show. I'm going to jump up on that corner over there, and I'm going to show you the coin. So when you look at this coin, I'm going to make myself a little bit smaller. Hold on just a second. Let's do that. Okay, so when you look at this coin, the coin is absolutely spectacular. It's a beautiful depiction of the Ukrainian landscape. So if you look at this area here, you can see this beautiful stylized artistic rendering of the Ukrainian landscape. Now, the Ukrainian landscape, they show this here because there's a lot of poetic, a lot of artistic items that happened within Ukraine that were suppressed under the regime of the USSR. And so they wanted to bring a lot of that back in. It is very stylized, showing the depiction and the diversity that are had within the nations. And then you got these beautiful storks that are flying over the countryside. Now you can see these beautiful stylized, absolutely elegantly done. I really do like the rendering of this particular one. Compton, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. Now, when I see the other coins, it was like, man, it's going to be hard for me to choose. But I definitely wanted to come up and look at this particular coin because it did fall into 2 categories, and the most artistic as well as the Coin of the Year champion. Now, on the obverse, you're looking at a helical structure, a DNA style structure, and this is that artistic representation of the code or the history, the freedom code of Ukraine. It does talk about the denomination, and then I can't tell you what that says, unfortunately. I was not able to find out what the verbiage on that is. This does say Ukraine, and then it's 5 something or other. I can't remember what it's called. But the coin is from 2021. But to truly understand why this coin is so significant, we have to understand kind of the historical context and the premise behind it. I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about the historical premise. Now, again, as I stated, my talking about this particular coin in no way reflects my political viewpoint of whether the war in Russia and Ukraine, the Russia-Ukrainian war, I doesn't matter what I feel about this. What I'm talking about is the coin, giving you some basic history, so you kind of understand the tumultuous history in this part of the nation anyway, and why this coin is so significant. Now, while I'm going over this piece, I won't be able to see chat. So if there's something in the chat, I'll go back and look through that here in just a few moments. But I want to kind of talk about this. I'm going to look at my notes just to make sure that I can see this. Now, many of you are aware that I have eye issues, so I have to have something zoomed in and really narrow for me to see. So again, I apologize for not monitoring chat while you guys are doing this. So in order to really understand kind of the tumultuous history between the Soviet Union, now Russia, and Ukraine, we need to understand some of the things that happened during World War II. Now, in September of 1939, the Soviet Union, along with Nazi Germany, invaded Poland, and that kicked off World War II. And as they invaded Poland, Ukrainian territory started to expand with the help of the Soviets. They started to expand their territory, utilizing the scope of war to push against their borders and meet some of their own political agenda. However, that didn't work out so well for them because Nazi Germany would come in along with the USSR and occupy Ukraine from the years 1941 to about 1944. Now, elements of the insurgent army of Ukraine fought for independence and just ended up losing. They just were not adept to going against Germany and the Soviet Union. But there were other elements internally, and there's always been internal progression. There's always been internal dissent within Ukraine. But one of the major issues was that there was kind of a pairing with the Nazi in carrying out Holocaust atrocities in Ukraine against the Polish. And that's kind of a tarnish on Ukraine. They weren't the only country that were engaged in that, but when they kind of paired alongside the Nazis in that time frame, it really kind of aligned them. Now, it wouldn't be for another 15 years, or actually 10 years, excuse me, until 1953 when Nikita Khrushchev, who succeeded as the head of the Communist Party in the Soviet Union, enabled Ukrainian as a rival. So they said that we don't agree with you, your thoughts, your artistic abilities, the desire for you to grow in this self-preservation of thought, this freedom of speech, this stuff. This is not conducive to the Communist Party. And they decided to expand and take over this area. Now, they decided to kind of go through and say, hey, we're going to go through and we're going to take away something from Russia with agreement with Russia, and that was Crimea. Now, if you've been listening to the news of today, you know that Crimea, the port of Crimea, is a big deal. And the Russians never got over that. The Soviets never got over that. But when they did this, obviously it set off a new level of political regression against the poets, the historians, the artists, and things of that nature, because they did not want that independence of thought, right? You're talking about the Communistic Party. And the Communistic Party was a state function organization, and they wanted control over everything. You didn't get to choose your job was appointed for you. You didn't get to choose what school you went to, the government chose the school for you. And so that caused some issues. And it was that way between 1953 all the way up until 1991. Now, in 1991, depending upon what school of thought or what part of the world you come from, there's two ways of looking at this. Either the independence of Ukraine caused the fall within the Soviet Union, the economic collapse, the dissolve of the Soviet Union. Or you can look at it the way that I understand it, which is that the dissolution of the Soviet Union actually allowed for Ukrainian independence. Now, you can look at it either way. I'm not going to say which one is correct. I think I understand, excuse me, I understand that the dissolution of the Soviet Union allowed for Ukrainian independence. Depending upon what train of thought, you may think that differently. I can't tell you which one is correct. But what this did throughout the entire region was caused an 8-year transition, and it just was a horrible, horrible economy. In fact, it was so bad that in Russia and Ukraine, one night they went to bed, they had $100,000 in the bank. The next morning they woke up and they barely had enough to buy groceries the following day. So their monetary value plummeted dramatically and threw them into an 8-year economic crisis. Now, what was weird about this is that during this time frame, they experienced a high increase in GDP growth. So they were selling off things, they were doing different things, so they saw an increase in economy, but that was only going to government and high-end officials. It really wasn't being filtered down to the rest of the community. And because of that, Russia and Ukraine entered a Great Recession. Now, the Great Recession lasted throughout the early 2000s all the way up until about 2010. Now, those regressions started to turn around probably late 2000s into the early 2010s. And the political crisis started to become even hotter around 2013. Now, this is when Viktor Yovanovitch suspended preparations for joining the EU. Now, this was something that was very, I don't know, frowned upon, I guess, because by the EU. But what happened is instead of joining the EU, they chose to seek ties with Russia. So this is where Ukraine actually moved towards Russia, right? They didn't move towards joining the EU. They actually pushed towards joining with Russia. And that decision resulted in protest and later revolutionary war internally within Ukraine. Now, that didn't last very long. The parliament impeached Yovanovitch, and then in 2014, and then when that happened, Russia no longer had that support. The person who came in, the current president right now, said, no, we're not going to do this. We're going to go back to autonomous situations. We're going to go back to our independent. We want to kind of push back towards the EU. And as they did that on February 14th, 5 days later, the Russia-Ukrainian war would begin when Russian forces would come into Crimea. So after the pro-Russian unrest developing in that Russian eastern and southern European regions of Ukraine, the referendum of ethnicity and all of this stuff started to just kind of get really bad. Now, again, when you're looking at this onset, there was a break that happened for a couple of years because they were looking at trying to find ways. I'm trying to remember the gentleman's name. I didn't write that down. But it happened in Donbass and Luhansk, and the pro-Ukrainian and pro-Russian mercenaries actually started to engage in conflict. They started to engage in little spats and starting to aggravate the militaries on both sides. And because of that, it actually relaunched the invasion. And then you see what we currently see within history. So the reason I wanted to go through all of that was to kind of talk about the tumultuous situation. Chief Sacker, how you doing? Thank you for coming in. I'm back to seeing chat again. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you being here. But when you look at this particular coin, again, there's so much history that I think it's important that we understand why certain things were done, and we look at the development of the coin. We look at why the stylized pattern. We talk about the split ties, right? There's a separation here of the two nations. We look at the code. You can see like this genetic code indicating that they are independent and free. They are not Soviet, right? So there is, and anybody who's been through this particular region knows that the Russian and the Ukrainians have had difficult relations throughout the course of history. But you can see that there's a lot of really subtle political components to the design of this coin. Now, when you're talking about the coin from an artistic standpoint, it's gorgeous. It's a beautiful coin. I would absolutely love to have one of these coins. I really enjoy the birds in flight, the detail in the wings. I really enjoy the stylized patterns down here, but it's just a really, really good, I think they chose well. Now, to say that this is the one that I like the best is a misnomer. There are two other coins within Coin of the Year that won in certain categories that I actually like better. There's one that is, I believe it was the most artistic. No, not the most artistic. It was the best silver. Now, I'm going to be doing a short on the best silver coin, and I'll be talking about that one probably in my Wednesday video. Now, as many of you are aware, on Tuesday, I'm going to be having eye surgery. So I am going to be away from the computer for about 5 days. So I'm going to throw out a bunch of shorts and get some stuff out there, prepare everybody so I can continue to have content being pushed out there while I recover from eye surgery. I'm here in about a month, they'll do the other eye. So I'm going to be going through about 2 months of time frame where I'm not going to be putting out as much content. I might not be able to do next weekend. We'll wait and see. I'm waiting to get on information, but I am going to put out a video on this particular coin, and that is the best silver. Now, the best silver coin is a picture of a gosling with a goose. Just absolutely beautiful. It's colorized, where it's primarily silver, but the beak is colorized. It's actually absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to be doing that one next. So stay tuned for that. And again, I'll probably make that my Wednesday video release, which happens at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. on Wednesdays. So that's about all I had for this particular coin. Now, I do want to take a moment and kind of go over a couple other things that are happening within the channel, let you know about some things that are going on, and provide some just general news. So I appreciate everybody joining me today. I'm going to jump over here and get back into chat. So thank you guys for doing this. Again, I've been trying to continue to provide good quality information. It's been really hard for me to do some of this stuff. But we have a wonderful community, and they have come alongside of me and given me some good advice on how to keep things engaged. Chief, appreciate it. I'll keep you guys abreast of the situation. Make sure that my wife or Bite Frost actually posts some stuff in my community thing periodically. I'm not even going to be able to look at a phone for like 3 or 4 days, which actually I feel quite happy about. I like taking time to unplug every once in a while. And so this is going to be good to be able to kind of just unwind. I'm really hopeful that the eye surgery results in recovery of this issue. Like, I really want to see good again. I mean, I know it sounds stupid to say it that way, but it's not being able to see sucks. And I know we have some people in our community who deal with this on a daily basis. But to go from 3 months to being able to see and being able to hunt coins and to do that kind of stuff to the point to where I can't even see the coin's error. I can't even look at the date. It became rather frustrating. And so I'm really trying to make sure that we can get that back on. I'm going to go ahead and jump back over here so you can see me, so we can get back into doing this chat thing. But again, I appreciate you all for being patient and kind with me while I get ready to go through this. Siren Silver Stacker, how are you doing? Or Siren Silver Stash, appreciate you being here. Thanks, Brown Sugar. I appreciate that. Shift Kicker, thank you for that. I'm trying to do better quality. So this is what I'm going to ask. And this is something that I have people that I work with on a frequent basis. I have people that I talk with periodically regarding videos. There are people that I reach out to. Coin Crew is one in which we talk about strategies and we work through. There's some other people that I get on periodically with. Haven't done that the last couple weeks because of trying to coordinate and plan for things. But what I really would like you all to do is when you're looking at these videos, send me a comment in the chat, send me an email. If you see something in the video quality, I'm really trying to work on getting, so you can see the lighting here. So I know that I need to have a light over in this section to kind of offset that. Trying to really work on having better lighting, better strategy. I've really been working on audio to get my audio quality better. But I really want to provide you not only good, solid content, as accurate and as reliable as I can get it, but I really want to provide something that is fun for you guys to watch. And so I want to give you guys better content. I want to give you guys better visual and audio. And so if there is something that you feel that I can do, if you feel info is good, just need photos now. I think I missed something. Oh, gotcha. I'm tracking. There you go. I fully understand now, Eric. I was like squirreled for a minute. But if you see something like you see the, you did like that Ukrainian coin. It's a gorgeous piece. And again, I'm not saying that there is or is not a political intent behind it being the coin of the year. There could be. There very well could be. It could be as much steeped in political dissidence and siding factors as much as it is just the design of the coin. But this isn't my favorite coin when it comes to the coin of the year, but it is the most artistic and the most stylized. And I did like the fact that the crane, the cranes are gorgeous, right? And I really do like the stylish coin. I'm going to try and see if I can find one. I wasn't able to find a lot of information on how to receive those or how to get those. But yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. Now, again, I'm going to be going over some of the other ones. I already went over the one that I would consider probably my favorite in the series. This is a personal preference because I love astronomy. I like stargazing. I like looking and learning about the universe. And that was the series that came out that had the black hole, the Milky Way, and then the neutron star. Absolutely fabulous set. Now the question for that one is do I want to drop $300 for a coin? And that would be, $1,000 for me to get all three of the coins. I just don't know that I can justify doing that when I could buy a half ounce of gold. It's like, well, trying to justify the purchase of one. But there are other ones that are going to be that I'm going to be, like I said, doing some shorts on. I want you to pay attention to because the one, actually, let me see if I can give you a sneak peek of the other coin, which came out as the top silver. Now, the top silver is probably, as far as artistic design, I absolutely love this coin. Let's see if I can put it in here. There we go. If I can do this. Right, so I'm just going to take a snippet of this. I'll put this on the other screen. Why did that not work? Okay, so let me see if I can share this with you. So I'm going to go through. Hey, Brother Rat, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. There it is. Okay, so let's turn on the backflash. Let's turn me off, and let's turn off the Frosty. Okay, so let's get. I'm curious why this isn't showing up bigger. Oh, there we go. Okay. So, and I can try, I tried to zoom into this and I couldn't. This is the silver coin that is coming out. Now, this thing is absolutely gorgeous. This swan is absolutely fabulous. You have the little baby swan on the back of it. And I absolutely love the artistic interpretation as well as the obverse. I really like this design, this coat of arms that's on the other side. This is the coin that I'm going to be talking about. This is the coin that I'm going to be going over and kind of discussing with you all. I'll be doing a short, I'll be probably doing a full-length video on this particular one. I absolutely love this coin. It's gorgeous. And again, this one came out with the best silver coin. It's phenomenal. I'm really, really excited to do the video on this because it's absolutely fabulous. I think they did a really good job of choosing the coins. There's a couple of them that they're not, I don't understand why they selected them. I can think of other ones that are there that I have seen that are much better in my interpretation. So I don't understand why they chose some of them, but overall, they chose some absolutely fabulous coins. We'll be talking about the gold coin too. The gold coin is really nice. But anyway, if anybody's interested in looking at that information, you'll be seeing some stuff coming out from me on that very shortly. So anyway, okay, so let's go over a couple other things that's going to happen on the channel here while I do some recovery. I have shorts coming out pretty much every day, so I've coordinated that, so you'll still be seeing information from me. For the folks of you that are in here, so Eric, Copper Coins, you won't see me in the streams. If people are around that they can engage and turn on my device, I'll probably be listening, but I won't be participating in much conversation. I may have somebody say hi or something for me. So if you guys don't see me in your streams, if you guys don't see me on your channel, you don't see me commenting, or if you comment on my video, or you say something, or you asking me a question and I don't respond, just please be patient with me. I wouldn't expect it to take very long. I think I should have much better vision after about 4 or 5 days. I think 3 or 4 days is the duration that they want me to be off of any devices. Now, they said I could kind of be on them periodically, but I don't really want to do that. I want to take the best possible care of my eyesight because I want to make sure that I want to continue to look at coins. I really enjoy errors and varieties, and I want to get back into looking at those. I want to get back into putting them on the scope and going through with people and talking about it. I want to have people come up on panel, talk about certain coins, talk about certain varieties, talk about certain areas. And would you make a list of which you would put on your list? Help me understand what you're asking for there, Brown Sugar. Would you make a list of which would be on your list? Can you clarify? I'm not sure I'm following that. Well, hopefully it's the right finger. Yeah, well, thanks, Chappie. I appreciate you, bud. But again, just be patient. I know that when people are in your streams all the time and then they don't show up, is always a concern or always a question about, hey, what's going on? Where are they at? I will do my best to make sure that updates are put into my community posts, so you guys kind of know where I'm at. I'll have my wife go through. Oh, well, I put together what I think my best coins are. Yeah, I can do that. I'll do it from the 3 lenses. That's actually a really good idea. Maybe I should do that. Talk about, Frosty's top picks within bullion, within semi-numismatic, and within numismatics. Hi, Miss Coin Crew. Thank you for coming in. By the way, I really liked your comment on my caption this. It made me laugh. That was funny. Yeah, I think that would be really cool. That's a great idea. So I'll have to go ahead and start putting that list together. The semi-numismatic is going to be really tough because there's so many great things in the semi-numismatic realm. You guys already know probably 2 of my top 10 if I was to talk about bullion coin, because I talked about the Milky Way. That coin set, I absolutely love it. You guys know I love ships on coins, so it wouldn't be hard to choose a couple of my favorite bullion pieces. I think that would go really fast. I don't think that would be difficult. Semi-numismatics would be tough. Numismatics is easy. Looking at some of the key issues, there's a couple errors that I think are really cool that I would discuss. Some of them people I don't think would guess of my top 10. I think that might even be a good giveaway, a good to put my list together and have it ready to go, have some people confirm it, and then put the list up there and see if anybody can guess for, something like an ounce of silver. Somebody can guess the top 10 that I would choose, and then whoever guesses the right number, then we put a drawing for the people. So if people guess 8 of the 10 and there's 10 of them, put the 10 of them in a race and then run a race to find out who wins. I think that would be really cool. Angry Warrior, thanks for coming in again. Hey, see Happy Chappy, I said hi to one of your comments, but I never actually said hi to you. So yeah, there's some really good ideas there. And I appreciate that. But again, if you guys have things that you really want to see, if there is content or there's something about a specific coin. Now, there are things behind the works. Is Eric still in here? Eric, are you still in chat? He is. Okay. Yeah, that's exactly right, Eric. They all have personal reasons for being their favorite. So it's going to be very difficult for people to necessarily understand that. It's like, oh, there's much better looking coins. Oh, there's much better looking numismatic coins. Those coins are not very much, there's not very much value in that particular coin or whatnot. So I changed my mind so much to pick a favorite. Well, yeah, but the thing is that that's the cool thing about your top 10 list, right? It changes. And so it's something that you can do periodically. You can update, maybe you can update it every year, right? Hey, my top 10 coins for the year or whatnot. But I definitely have no problem coming up with a couple of them. I think Mr. and Mrs. Coin Crew know one of mine because, well, I know Miss Coin Crew does. She even knows the year because we've talked about it a couple times. But Coin Crew and Mrs. Coin Crew and I have, or Mr. Coin Crew and I have a love for a specific genre of coin that they're just absolutely fabulous. We love them. He has a number in his private selection. And so that is one that I know it could be a coin that sparked you. Yeah, absolutely. It could be a coin that started. For instance, we talk about Salivate Metal, the 1906 Indian head penny was given to him by his granddad. And that's probably, when he looks at coins, that's the coin that sparked his interest in it, right? So some people, you know their stories, you know what's going on about it, you know, you have the information behind it. But there's a number of items that that have significant meaning to me, but are absolutely fabulous. I'll give you a hint. If you know who my favorite designer is, you're probably going to get 2 or 3 of them. You know, just saying. But that's why it's good to know people. So I'll probably put something I'm stealing all the, oh, no, 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 no. You can't do that. We have to make an agreement. If we have doubles, we'll discuss. So for those of you that don't know, Miss Coin Crew and I share the same birth year. And so she's stooped in collecting that year, and so am I. So we just have a little banter going on there. It's a lot of fun. But again, I'm looking at improving, checking the time, making sure I can get everybody up and ready to go to the premiere train here in about 15 to 20 minutes. But again, I want to continue to provide good quality content, but I would like to provide content that you guys like to see. So be throwing me ideas. I'm probably going to put up a community post here either today or tomorrow asking for if you guys were looking at a specific era or variety, which one would you like to know more about? Which one would it be that you would like to see? Well, that year would be 1973, Mr. Eric. It is by far the best year. And in fact, for those of you that don't know, here's an interesting tidbit. Now, I've said this before in another video. I might have actually said it in another live stream, but there's something very significant that happened to the coin collecting community in 1973. Is there anybody in chat that can tell me what that significant item was that was put in place to actually serve as a protection to preserve our hobby? Does anybody know what that was? Put it into chat, and the winner of that, the person who comes up with that first, will win a BU wheat cent. I'm not sure what year, probably something in the 40s, probably mid 40s. So if somebody can come up with that, let me know. If you can do it without Googling, that would be even better. But what happened in 1973 that had a major impact on the protection of numismatics and the coin collecting hobby? So when I say 1973 is the best year, actually in this hobby, it's one of the best years indeed. The other one that's a really good year is 1906. And the reason that they say that is because in 1906, that was the year that St. Gaudens designed the double eagle. It came out a little bit later. Yeah, the chat did freeze for a little bit there. I'm assuming that it's a YouTube thing. It's moving again now, but it's very slow. Looking at the settings, it's set on normal chat, so hopefully I have an 1873 gold coin too, Miss Coin Crew. I actually have an 1874 gold coin too, which is cool because my sister was born in 1974, so I have one from my birth year and her birth year. She's a little jelly about that, but that's okay, it's staying in my collection. Hobby Protection Act, brown sugar wins. Yes, it's the Hobby Protection Act. And what that stated is that, and this is where counterfeiting took a legal bend, right? And that is if you have a coin that you're using for education, or you have a coin that you're utilizing, it must be marked copy, or it must be marked fake, or it must be marked. I have the closed 3, I don't have the open 3, but it must be marked. So that's why when you see these bullion coins where they say, oh, it's a repunch, and it has copy, that's because you're protecting people from thinking that it is a version of the older, it's the older coin, right? So it's meant to protect yourself from manipulation and things like that. It also actually made it illegal to replicate a coin and not put that, so it became counterfeiting. And so what people do is there was a kind of a mix between forgery and counterfeiting. Forgery means that it's slightly different. Counterfeiting means that you're trying to replicate. Wow, mouth is dry. Hold on. You were trying to replicate the exact coin. So understanding the difference between counterfeit and forgery is important as well. One of my favorite counterfeits is the Henning nickel. For those of you that don't know, I absolutely love that. And the other counterfeit that I'm absolutely enamored with, and I would love anything to get my hands on, is the Omega coin. or one of the Omega coins. There's actually 3 of them, I believe. But if you don't know about the Omega one, that's a good one. Great question. Restrikes are confusing. Restrikes are confusing because they have to state it, but they don't necessarily have to change anything on the image, right? We got one, the golden Kugurakan one ship that me sent me. It's a restrike, but it doesn't say anywhere on it that it's a restrike, except for in the certificate of authenticity. But that was a great trivia question. Thank you. I appreciate that, Eric. But yeah, there's a lot of cool information, a lot of good information. So if there's something like that, Ringmaster Ray, thank you, bro, for coming in. I appreciate it. Coming in on the everybody's connecting the train. We got the premiere train coming up in 15 minutes. That is cool. So please make sure you go over and support those YouTube channels in the premiere train here in about 15 minutes. Now, I'm going to cut about 5 minutes early to get everybody a chance to go do a bio break, grab some coffee, and then come back to their phones and their computers. But yeah, so if you guys want to learn more information about a certain topic, I actually had a conversation with my daughter last night, and she asked me a question that I thought was pretty basic. And I was like, actually, it's a really good idea. So I'm going to be doing a video on that. It's going to be a short, and it's going to be really, really quick. So here's a question for you. Here's another trivia question. Actually, I need to write this down for brown sugar. I'm going to forget that you won that. Hold on just a second. There it is. All right. Brown sugar. I've got a couple pieces of mail that need to go out today too. So that's going to say brown sugar. I think that's the 3rd time you've won on my stream, brown sugar. You got the lucky gift. All right. So here's another one. Does anybody know where you can go, a single source, to look at US coins and find out the mintages, not only present, past, but active? Does anybody know where you can go to find that? Because up until yesterday, I didn't know that you could do this. So you take it for granted. It's like, well, we're looking at mintages. You just Google the year and then it tells you the mintages. But if you're looking for active mintages and things where they're at and how many were done, how many bullion coins were produced, how many semi-numismatic coins were produced, how many art collector coins were produced, how many numismatic. Well, you can, but the problem is Redbook doesn't give you, it's actually not the right answer. Because the Redbook doesn't give you today's mintages. It gives you what was done at the time that it was produced. There's always a lag between the Redbook and the current one. United States Treasury page, it's absolutely correct. So you can go to the United States Treasury and the United States Mint. You can click on the mintages there and you can actually open up. It actually lists the various items. So Chappie. Yeah, so I thought the Redbook was one. Google is obviously right, but the thing with Google is Google doesn't always send you to the site that actually gives you current messages. So technically Google is incorrect because Google isn't the site that's going to show it to you. Google is a search engine that's going to tell you the site that you can see it, view it on. Yeah, I thought the Redbook too. So I would look at the Redbook and I would go back through and look at that, or the gray sheet. But they don't actually list mintages of today. The only place that you can do that is through the Treasury page or the US Mint page. So that, yeah, again, it's my daughter was like, well, Dad, how do you know which years are really significant? And why is that important? And it was like, well, that's a good question, right? Like, wow. So I'm going to be doing a very quick short on that one. That one's going to actually come out this evening or maybe tomorrow morning. It might come out after Coin Cruise auction tomorrow. Trying to determine, I'm trying to stage these things over the course of the next 2 weeks so that I can make sure things are done. So I'm kind of looking at times. But that's going to come out either later today or sometime tomorrow. So be paying attention to that. It's going to be a really good short. I think you guys will like that. Well, and that's another truth, Ms. Coin Crew, and that is you can actually pay to be on top searches. It doesn't mean it's the best information. Sometimes the best information is on the second and third pages. But the issue with that is that second and third pages usually are where the spam and the sites that are trying to fraud you usually start to show up. Lower down the search engines doesn't mean that they're always going to be down there. Sometimes you can find things that are not genuine sites. Let's just utilize that. Or there are genuine sites that have nefarious purposes. You're on the Treasury page. Outstanding. Yeah, I again, that was something I didn't know. So there's little pieces of information where I'm looking at auto-renewing 4-week bond at 5.54%. That's good, actually. That's quite high. That's a pretty good return on a bond. Sorry, you just squirreled me, Eric. But anyway, so yeah, so these are the kind of things that I want to help and I want to provide information on. I thought they sent it to you, whoever got the most traffic. Well, so that used to be true, but now there's so many intricacies that are engaged in Google Analytics. So you have meta tags. So you have the tags that are done on your site that tell you what your site is about. So having good quality meta tags that are relevant to people who are searching your stuff. It also, much like you'll see when you're looking at the YouTube algorithm and you're looking at information, depending upon the items that you view, the items are going to show higher in your list. If you're looking at advertising, the people who advertise, who pay for higher spots, they're going to go up there. There are other sites that list, so you can go out there and you can put information on there, and they're going to actually register your information with some of these third-party entities that Google pulls information from for analytics, and you can register through those, and they can actually score you higher. So it's not just like you have to have a really good site. You can actually pay and strategize and have a fairly new site that shows up fairly high in the Google search records. I played with this years ago when I had my photography page. And within 2 weeks of having my photography page up on the listing, I would show up within the top 10. But I was paying for it. I was really working on my meta tagging, really making sure things were there. I wish I could do the same with YouTube, but the algorithm's a little bit different because they take viewer preference in a higher level than they do for Google. So they want you to be able to look at a wider variety of items. So they do a wider venue. When you're looking at numismatics and you're looking at coin collecting, it's a little bit more specific on YouTube. I still have yet to understand that. I really want to understand the algorithm better. I wish I had somebody who really understood YouTube's algorithm. I would love to have them up and talk about how to do that a little bit better. I know we have some people that are really adept in it. Silver Seekers one, Rob Finds Treasures one, Coin Cruise one, Livecoin Q&A kind of understands a lot about that as well. So it would be nice to have some of those people come on and talk about algorithms and how to engage in that. That's less numismatic and more about YouTube, but I would still like to engage things like that. So if there are things like that, certain questions that you have, please send them to me, because again, I really want to curtail. I don't mind coming up with ideas. I've got a pick list of about 100 ideas of things that I pull from for shorts and videos. But if there's something that people really want to see, then I want to make sure that people understand that. David Carnham, thank you for being here. I appreciate you coming in. Thanks for stopping by. The internet was developed for the military. Actually, Josh, it was designed by scientists who wanted to communicate, well, technically email, who wanted to communicate information back and forth. And so they developed this electronic one. They wanted to share information back and forth. And so it was actually created for scientific use. ABC Core. I love it. Yeah. But yeah, so it's a lot of fun. But
for those of you who really want to know where email and the internet stemmed from, it was scientists working in the field trying to communicate amongst each other. So that was actually how it was set up. My new favorite info is the magic coins were initially made for espionage. That's a good piece of information. That's another good piece of trivia. See, Happy Chappy, I appreciate you putting that in there. All right, everybody. Well, I hope you have had a really good day. I hope you enjoyed the discussion about the coin of the year, the champion, which was the 30-year independence of Ukraine. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. If I can have one of my chats throw over Will's treasures so we can start. Thank you, Ringmaster Ray. I appreciate that. You're on the ball, ready to go. Thank you for doing that. Let's everybody go over there. Let's let them know that Frostbite has been putting in ... LOL. I don't know what that means, but yes. Okay, sure. But again, thank you for being here. Join me tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be more of a chit chat. I'm going to have an open panel. If you have something that you want to talk about, something to trade, something of that nature, then I'm going to open that up for a little bit. I'm not going to be doing any selling, but if there's somebody that wants to do some trade items, we can do that. If there's somebody who wants to talk about a specific coin or a set of coins, they want to talk about things that are going on, hit me up on email. We'll come up. We'll talk about it on panel. Tomorrow's going to be lay low. It's going to be set. I really don't want to focus on coming up with too much for tomorrow. So come join in. It's going to be just general flow, general chit chat. Should be fun. Appreciate you all coming in. Go over and hit that train. Make sure you say Frostbite Raid. Let them know that we're showing them some love. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. Thank you, William. Oh, I got you, William. I appreciate you. And again, thank you for doing that. Y'all take care. Be blessed. See you in the streams. Probably not in the next couple of days, but see you in the streams. I